Hey, Jeff, thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to get you on here real quick on a Zoom meeting and ask. So I know that the WHO and FDA loosened a lot of the restrictions. So distillers, pretty much anyone that could get their hands on some form of alcohol, well, actually specific forms, but would make hand sanitizer. So June 1st, I think, was the deadline of when that would cut off. How is that going to affect what we're doing?
Yeah, during this pandemic, they did loosen the guidelines and basically let anyone who had access to alcohol. They had an approved list, which was approved formula, which was nothing more than almost pure alcohol, which is why everybody's hands are drying out, cracking. But that's the story for another time. I do believe that June 1st was the date where they no longer legally can do that. So as you know, All American Pharmaceutical, we function at really a drug level, a pharmaceutical level. We developed our own formula, which is what EFX Sports has been supplying, which doesn't dry your hands out. You don't have all those issues. We've been approved by the FDA, so we actually have an NDC number, a drug number. So we're going to continue to manufacture that and market that product. Again, I think, that's really what sets us apart. When you look at things like this, patents, and you go, well, what makes your protein better than, Dymatize or somebody else's protein? Well, dang, if we can get drug certification and we can do all the things we do, we surely can make the best protein. And I just happen to use protein as an example,
Sure. Yeah. So as of June 1st, then we're totally in the clear because we got this, what was it called again?
If you see on some of the sanitizers or on a lot of all the over-the-counter drugs, you'll see NDC and then a number. That is a new drug classification that the FDA assigns you, and that's basically your approval. Like any drug, you have to have FDA approval to sell. Whether it's a pharmaceutical, hand sanitizer because of the claims, kills 99.9% germs, yada, 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 yada. You have to get FDA approval to do that. So we now have that. We got it on all three sizes, 2 ounce, 8 ounce, and 16 ounce. We actually had to register each one. That's how strict they are, and get approval. And being that, we're already a registered and approved facility, they already know, what we do. For us, it was relatively painless to enter into the drug realm.
I was going to say, did they have to come and do any more inspections or because obviously that's going to cut out a lot of the marketplace of people that were stepping up, thank God, to help out like what we were doing. But
no, I have been on the task force for the state, and I've been on weekly calls with all of the distilleries. So Montana is no different than any other state. The people who had access to the alcohol were distilleries. So obviously, their states' representatives, reached out to distillers and said, can you help out? Can you make some sanitizer? They basically took their alcohol that they make. They make ethanol there. That's what a distillery does. It distills it from grains and such. They had to denature it with adding some Bitterex, which then makes it unable to drink. Add a little peroxide, dab of glycerin, and that's the WHO formula. So that's what everyone across the country has been selling. And, one of the problems that happened in our task force is everybody's complaining, people's hands are cracking,
yes,
ratching, breaking. And another group got involved and said, okay, we're going to put something together to show you now that you need to moisturize. So now you got to use this lotion, you got to use this cream, So, it's been an ongoing battle. But like anything we do, when I first decided we needed to get into this, it's always about building the better mousetrap. We use sanitizer here in the facility. After you wash, you have to sanitize to get in. But I only do that 4 times a day when I enter production. So it wasn't enough to really crack my hands and all that. But as I started to increase it, I noticed the other stuff. I'm sorry, it sucks.
Yeah, I have a friend, a physical therapist, and they said now they're doing it before and after. And you see, imagine 10 to 20 patients a day.
Oh, I was at the chiropractor end of last week, and he saw we were doing sanitizer. I brought him some. He had already heard about it. And I went back on Monday and he said, man, I threw our stuff in the trash. He goes, can I get a few gallons to fill our containers? He said, your stuff don't dry your hands out. It doesn't crack. It doesn't cause rash. He goes, but you probably already know that. I go, yeah. I said, that's what we do. You know, I mean, we got technology here. We have a lot of intelligent people that we know what we're doing. And we just happen to be in the dietary supplement industry. But again, we bring all that expertise. So if you think about it, why can't the big boys make a sanitizer that doesn't dry your hands out? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it costs more.
I guess because they don't have you working there.
Well, that's it. You know, I mean, you know, this is a couple step process, but again, you know, it's a cool little thing. FDA was kind of like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, it sure is.
Yeah, well, and again, as great as it is for whatever sanitizer or product we made, I think it's really cool that we got this number, got the approval for it. That's no easy feat, and they're not going to just hand those out willy-nilly to anybody.
No. You know, again, being they know us, they were just out here inspecting. So again, you know, like we're getting into the infant formula. You know, we've already been approved for export. We're now applying for approval to sell an infant product, you know, in the USA. So all that process is expedited because we already have all these other certifications. They already have inspected. They already know that we're following these guidelines. So we submit, you know, all of the applications and paperwork to prove that, you know, what we're doing is how we're going to make it. Okay, they'll be back in. So their next visit, they're going to inspect our sanitation to make sure that we're following, you know, all the FDA guidelines. They'll find we will. And, you know, like they do everything else.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. I mean, like I said, I think the bigger thing said here is the fact that we qualified for something like that, because that's not something you can just do, you know, that easily. And like I said, I mean, whether it's protein or any kind of product, hopefully that's a testament to people to know that we're operating at that such a high level that you can trust this stuff.
Oh, and you know, and again, you know, I don't like boasting, but you know, sometimes we have to separate ourselves from the crowd. I always say, you know, are supplements created equal? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. You know, when you look at what AAP, All American Pharmaceutical, does, we have more certification, we have more patents. You know, we have more drug applications. You know, our joint product has an orphan drug identification. You know, we're going to finish that so it can be sold over the counter as a drug. You don't see that at supplement companies. And again, you know, there's a lot of good ones out there that do a good job making vitamins, minerals. There's a lot of crappy ones who shouldn't be in business. And if you saw a post a couple weeks ago by some independent group that said the majority of the supplements sold on Amazon aren't even close to label claim.
Yeah, it was the ones for, I think it was some immune type products. They went through that category and like they were way off.
But I can guarantee you go in every category and anything on Amazon. That's why you never heard of those brands. You know, you don't go into GNCs or vitamin shops and find those brands. They're only online because nobody is monitoring them. Amazon doesn't monitor them. They don't care. You know, they're all in it for the money, and who cares if they cheat people? But, you know, again, we have been telling people, we show people that, and maybe this is the athlete in me, you know, if you're going to do it, you do it right. It ain't worth doing if you don't do it right, you know, and I like to win. And the way to win is when I leave here at night, you know, I know that we are going above and beyond what anyone else is doing. And when the challenge arises, it's an opportunity. You know, most people, when they get into a game and they lose, they put their, you know, head between their legs and moan and complain, and, you know, but not a true athlete. You know, you watch things that Michael Jordan posted about defeats. I saw something the other day. He didn't even make his high school varsity team the first year, you know, but he didn't give up. And, you know, that's the athletic, that's the warrior in us that, you know, we want to do the best, and we're always going to go into new areas. You know, we're getting into the bars. You know, we got a brand new bar coming out.
Oh, I thought that was a secret. No, just
sorry. Well, anyhow, the point I was making is, you know, there's a whole lot of things we're working on, because there's a necessity. They always say don't fix something unless it's broke. Well, when you look at things in our industry, most of the stuff is broken. It needs to be fixed. Creatine needed to be fixed. Carbohydrates needed to be fixed. Weight loss needed to be fixed. And bars need to be fixed. I mean, there's just a whole lot of things. Drinks need to be worked on.
Yeah. Well, the other version of that saying is, if it ain't broke, make it better.
Exactly.
I think that's kind of what we how we operate. At least, in my experience, been doing this for 16 years or whatever.
Well, you asked me last night, how was my day today? And I said, well, I don't have anything to do. Well, don't have anything to do means I'm caught up on my day-to-day responsibilities. But that's when I'm actually doing stuff, is when I'm caught up. Because, when I have to do my paperwork and my MMRs and all that stuff, that's necessary work. That's part of my job. But when I don't have that to do, that's when I'm coming up with these crazy ideas and, getting all these patents and all this stuff approved, which again is what sets EFX Sports and AP apart from anybody. Nobody. You won't find any manufacturers who have patents that I know of. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't patented raw materials, but they are not manufacturers. And why not? Because they don't have the knowledge, the capability, or maybe they don't care. It's not their business,
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, who knows? But I haven't seen it, just like you. I mean, we've been a lot of facilities, seen over the years brands come and go. Some hot product 5 years ago, people today never even knew it existed. It's just funny how this industry turns so quickly.
It is, and kind of on a closing note, St. Anthony's Research and Education Institute, which I founded, as a nonprofit company to continue on with education, just received a grant, from the state of Montana. I was told they were the first nonprofit to get one. It was to help with research. We have some ideas that inflammation also leads to, immune compromise, which leads to disease, which kind of links us in what's going on today. So, we're going to continue on. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was enough to start some additional research. But again, government places trust us. They know what we're doing. Therefore, consumers should really look at where things are made, who the brands are. And, when you talk about American made, you can't get much more American made than what we do here.
Well, I'll say it's in the name of the company, All American.
Exactly. That's why we put that together. And that was back, when did idea? That name was somewhere around 1981, 82 is when it officially started.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, I know you're super busy. Maybe you've got more paperwork, but I'd rather you be formulating. So I'll let you get off of here and get back to putting those ideas together.
I do. I got a couple secret things I'm working on. So for all you people who go, what are you coming out with next? You'll soon see. I guess I spilled the beans on the bar, but I won't tell you what kind of bar. I'll let Brian tell you all about that.
There you go. It'll be really, really soon.
Yeah. So you're probably going to give some free ones away too, huh?
Of course. That's our style.
There you go.
All right. Well, go ahead and get back to formulating.
All right, man. Take care.
All right.